Welcome back to Low-Key Airsoft. In this one we're going to be dismantling this G&G SR-25. I picked this up for very cheap. Well, let's go over what's going on with it. I was told the gun was semi-locked, so I took the motor out, took the grip off, and I relieved the anti-reversal latch to find that it wasn't under tension. The gearbox had no tension. It wasn't in fact locked up. I dressed it up, put a scope on it, tripod, sling mount, a couple other things, and did the tape job on it. I converted it from large Tamiya to Dean's, and I took it out for the first outdoor game of the season, and it in fact did lock up halfway through the first game. And I might be able to show you what's going on. So safe, trigger no pull, fire, trigger no pull. So this is obviously what's going on here. I did in fact did the same thing again, pulled the motor out. The gearbox is not locked up, so something else is going on. We're gonna have to take it apart, figure out what the issue is. So this is obviously the issue that Buddy was having, and we're gonna figure it out. While we're in there, I'm gonna make sure everything's shimmed properly, and we're gonna slap an SHS full metal 14 teeth piston in there. And if the angle of engagement isn't corrected, we will do that as well using faucet washers. Okay, I've broken it down to the gearbox, and I think I've already figured out the issue. The spring has popped off the selector plate here. So if you see, when I pull the trigger, locked, safe. When I pull it forward, still safe. I'm not a big fan of these trigger setups, these old ones in G&Gs. I'm gonna just bring it to the new age and slap a Perun Hybrid 2 in there and call it a day. Let's split the gearbox. I'm assuming also the AOE is probably not corrected. Most G&Gs aren't, so we'll do that as well while we're in here. Get it prepped ready for the Perun. Okay, gearbox is split. I've got the SHS piston in there, and just checking the angle of engagement. It's not bad, but it is still not perfect. You can still see the gap in there. I don't like that. So we're gonna put our faucet washer in there and see if that'll correct it. Okay, so the faucet washers I find are perfect, are 1/2 inch. They seem to correct the AOE every time, so that's what I use. Okay, with the 1/2 inch faucet washer in there, we now have perfect AOE. Just do a quick cycle. I do gotta shave this 14th tooth down a bit more, but we're meshing perfectly. That's what I like to see. Reliability. Okay, AOE is corrected, shimming's done. Time to remove all the shit we don't need. So it'll be the stock trigger unit. We're gonna keep the trigger. We'll remove the trigger stop. And we're gonna remove this too because it's got its own optical sensors to see when the sector gear goes by. So this is where the issue is coming from anyway, so we're gonna remove that too. Using the Perun MOSFET, you can use this if you want to, but it's got its own detection on the board itself, so I'm just gonna remove it, call it a day. Okay, I got all the non-necessary components removed. Gearbox is prepped. We'll just clean it up, get it ready for the Perun, slap it in, and yeah. Okay, one more issue I'd like to address is the fact that this bolt just slides around freely, and this just kind of same thing. So I'd like to address this issue. See what we can do. Okay, so I've cut a chunk of clothes hanger, and it fits perfectly into that port there. So, okay, so what I've done is put that through there, and slide this all the way in. If you see, it stops right there, so this rod only goes so far. So what I've done is I push it all the way as far as I can go, and I made it flush with this mark here, because in the upper receiver has a recess for a rod to go into. So I went and picked up these springs from Canadian Tire, and they also fit perfectly into this little port here like that. So then slide that all the way down. Slide a few more springs on there. I actually found that another spring recesses perfectly into this port here. It's a little snug, which is good. Just like that. That's in there. And it just helps guide it right into the hole there. Okay. Okay, let's try it with charging handle in there. Slide everything into place here. Line up our spring here. That works pretty good. For the function of just protecting the hop-up unit, that's perfect. It's not much tension. I could even throw on this extra spring, maybe give it a bit more tension, but as of right now, it's perfect for what I need. Okay, the Perun has showed up. I've got the sticker on, selector plate. And I filed the lip just ever so slightly, just so that the sticker doesn't ever get caught, just for peace of mind. Okay, in the box what you get is the MOSFET itself. This goes on your trigger. It's like a magnet for the optical sensors and stuff. And you got your programming manual, and it comes with an actual card. You can keep it in your wallet, whatever you need. Okay, I've got the magnet on the trigger, secured down. Move on to MOSFET placement. Okay, got the Perun installed, trigger installed, got the wires routed correctly. I'm gonna make sure the wires aren't gonna get caught here when you run your pin through. Everything fit very well. Another quick test, check the sensor line. That sensor line's perfect, right there. Okay, I'm gonna slap it together like this and then run a few tests, make sure everything is being picked up by the sensors and whatnot. Okay, I've got the gearbox in the lower receiver, and I just want to plug the battery in, make sure everything is working properly. Now if you do notice, this is a DMR. I do only have fire, I don't have auto, meaning how am I supposed to get into programming mode if I can't flick it to auto? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. Basically what you do is you take any G&G lower receiver and you take this gearbox, slide it into the M4 lower receiver, do your programming as if this is for a DMR. I'll program it for DMR settings, and then I'll take it out of the M4 lower receiver, slide it back into my DMR receiver, and call it a day. Okay, light seems to work. Blue, that means fire. Trigger, purple. Back on to safe. So the selector's working. Check if the sector gear. Yeah. So it flashes once it's detecting sector gear. Perfect. Okay, everything's in place, ready to go. I will be replacing the 18K motor for a Crytek 30K. Okay, my plan for programming is going to be, obviously we'll keep our fire mode to single fire for semi. I'll have active braking. I think I'll do probably a 3. Pre-cocking we'll do 2 or 3 as well. Might even do a bit more. We'll see on pre-cocking, depends. And then trigger sensitivity. I'm gonna bump that up to probably 3 as well. Not too sure what the rate of fire reduction would really do for a DMR. Probably won't touch it. DMR mode, I'm gonna keep that on the lowest setting. LiPo alarm on. And then for full auto, we'll just set that to a semi setting and leave everything else alone. Okay, I'm gonna install this into a G&G M4 lower receiver, and then do the programming, and then pull it out. We'll slap it back into the DMR lower receiver. Okay, I put it in an M4 receiver, programmed it. I did have to actually put a GR16 selector plate on there because the GR-25 one didn't actually go all the way to full auto. So to program the SR-25, you do need the M4 selector plate from the G&G. So the settings I went with were auto brake level, I went 4. And then unfortunately for pre-cocking, not having it in the actual gun that it'll be shooting, I don't know if it's gonna miss feed if I apply pre-cocking, so I just left it without pre-cocking. Skip binary triggers, 2-stage. Trigger sensitivity, I went with 4. Rate of fire reduction, I didn't apply. DMR mode, I went on 0.25 seconds. LiPo alarm on. DSG mode off. And full auto, I just put it on single fire and then left everything else, so it'll never be on full auto. I put the original plate back in, so at this point I can install everything back together, and let's give it a chrono. I'm gonna also install a 70-degree Maple Leaf Super Macron. It is gonna be at 1.85 joules, so might as well throw something nice and heavy in there. Okay, let's do a chrono. I'm going to use 3 2s. That's what I'm going to be shooting out of it. So. It's very consistent, but a little low for my personal liking. I'm going to want that up to 1.8 joules. 1.8 at least. I'm allowed 1.88, so if I can get 1.85, it's pretty consistent. So other than that, it shoots really good. It sounds really good. But yeah, very nice and quiet. Shimming sounds good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this overhaul on the G&G SR-25. Learned quite a bit, and now we know how to install the Perun hybrids. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Peace.